the society. Women want what they want.
You want to have fun.
Really care about what they want. It's all about what they want, really.
Yeah.
When you get in a relationship, let's just keep it real.
So who sang that again?
Cyndi Lauper.
Right. Yeah.
Madonna sung Papa Don't Preach.
Right.
Similar songs, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the truth. You basically become their puppy dog, man. When you get in these relationships today, to please them, to keep them. In order for you to keep them, you have to basically stoop to their level and play their games. I ain't fucking playing no games, man. I ain't got time for playing games out here. You know what I mean? Herod, the world is done and destroyed. All kind of prophecies are happening. I want to play some bitches game. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Give me a break. I ain't got time for that. Go on, brother.
Yes, like just add to what you're saying. Another problem today is if you want to be with a woman, 9 times out of 10 you'll have to accept LGBTQ.
Of course.
Because she'll be into that and she'll be like, oh, but what's wrong with it? No, it's love is love. Mm-hmm. Love is love. And if you're not on with that, she's gonna look at you like you're the freak.
Like you're crazy.
Because Papa's preaching.
You know? And then you gotta accept celebrating fucking Christmas. I don't celebrate no damn Christmas. For what? That's not even in the scriptures. Let's get Isaiah chapter 10. That's a Babylonian custom, where they actually believe that if they screw the tree on them, the tree won't move. They actually believe the tree actually moves. That's where the idea of Christmas comes from.
Jeremiah 10.
All of that worldly BS, man.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremiah 10:1.
Mm-hmm.
Hear ye the word of which Yahawah spaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahawah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven,
right?
For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Right, they deck it with silver and gold. So when you go and get your Christmas tree, which highly likely winds up burning up your house, right? You get your tree and you deck it up with lights and these little balls, you know, whatever. I mean, I haven't celebrated in years, so I forgot how it actually goes. You know, but that's what they do. They get their resources and they deck it, make it look nice to please their neighbors, or to be in competition with their neighbors.
Outdo their neighbors. Yeah.
Not realizing that all of those damn lights around your house can actually cause a fucking fire, man.
That's right.
Go on, brother, and burn your children in your house.
They deck it with silver and with gold, and they fasten it with nails and hammers, so that it move not.
Yeah, so that it move not, because they actually believe that the tree was actually moving. They turned it into a god, man. Could you believe that? Like just think about it. Like, if you actually saw a tree moving, that means you're bugged out your mind. That means you're seeing things that's not actually around. But you got people like that, man.
Them fables again.
Yeah. Go on, brother.
They are upright as the palm tree. They speaketh not, and they must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
Right. So they can't. The tree is just right in one spot. Like, we're surrounded by trees right now. Where's it gonna walk to? They ain't walking nowhere. It was here when we was here, last weekend. It's gonna be in the same spot when we come back, the next following week. Lord willing. It ain't going nowhere, man. It ain't doing no good or it ain't doing no evil. It's not doing anything. So we don't gotta worry about that. But that's what they believed at the time. And then Esau took hold of that custom and turned it into celebrating Christmas. When in all reality, when you celebrate Christmas, you're celebrating one of the gods of Babylon. I forgot the name of the god.
Nimrod.
Right, Nimrod. He was an actual god. He was an actual man that ruled. Right, that's what you're celebrating. You're celebrating him, basically. Has nothing to do with the Messiah whatsoever. Go on, brother.
It says,
that's all I need on that, actually. You get me, you go back to Jeremiah 23 and 5.
Jeremiah 23 and 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahawah Yahawashi, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch.
And who's that righteous branch? Let's get Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11 verse 1. But let's continue to read on.
I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper.
Right, and the king shall reign and prosper. So David, we know, is going to be in third in command in the kingdom of heaven. But the top king, the over king, is going to be Yahawashi. And I'm going to further explain why he is the branch. Let's read this.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1. And there shall come forth out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
And then after that, give me John 3 and 17. You go on.
And the spirit of Yahawah shall rest upon him, and the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might,
Yeah.
the spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahawah.
Yeah, because when Yahawashi was on the scene, he came with the spirit. Really, he had the Holy Spirit. The spirit of the Most High was on him. That's why he was so wise with his words. He was very witty, because the spirit of that was in him, as what is explained. Let's read it again one more time.
Isaiah chapter 11 verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Yeah.
And the spirit of Yahawah shall rest upon him.
Yeah, and the stem of Jesse is referring to the lineage of David, because that was David's father, Jesse. That was his father, and Yahawashi came from that lineage. So out of the loins of David, or should I say his great-great-grandfather Jesse, there was going to be a man that was going to come forward, and he would bring about, what is it, the wisdom and understanding that the Lord put upon him, as explained. Let's read this.
And it says, and the spirit of Yahawah shall rest upon
The
him,
Holy Spirit, go on.
the spirit of wisdom and of understanding,
Yep.
the spirit of counsel and might,
Right, and the spirit of counsel and might, go on.
the spirit of knowledge and the fear
Now,
of
during the
Yahawah.
time of Yahawashi, when he was on the scene 2,000 years ago, he didn't come in the spirit of might. He came as the spirit of the sheep. And he played his part very well. He stuck to the script and everything. Even unto the dying of the cross. Okay? But when he comes back, he's going to come back and bring forth his true might that the Lord blessed him with. That's in the book of Isaiah 64. 63, I think. It's got to be Isaiah 63. Come on.
Get that one?
Yeah, you can, brother. Yeah, just real quick. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. What you got, let me get it. You can get that. Isaiah 63. Because Yahawashi is coming back with might and power this time around. He played his part as the sheep. He was humiliated. Now he's coming back to be honored. And we will be honored with him. We've struggled with him through the Spirit, and we shall be honored with him when he comes back as well.
Okay, this is Isaiah 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Come.
I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Right, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. You see, so when it says that he's coming with counsel and might, he was going to come with might later on, in this day and age. So let's read what you had again.
Yeah, there's more here. Verse 3, this is Isaiah chapter 11 verse 3. And shall make him of a quick understanding in the fear of Yahawah,
Come.
and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes,
Yep.
neither reprove after the hearing of his
As he
ears.
said in the book of John 3 and 17. Get John 3, 17. And then go back to Jeremiah 23.
This is the book of John chapter 3 verse 17. And it says, For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Right, that the world by him might be saved. So he didn't come to condemn the world. What does it mean that he came not to condemn the world? Meaning he didn't come to condemn the world of Israel, which Israel is a world of people. That's why he likened them as, what is it, according to the Greek. Well, he didn't speak Greek, but according to the Greek, the word there is cosmos, because within one cosmos, you have many, what is it? You have many stars, you have many planets within one cosmos. So the cosmos that it's talking about is the world of Israel. Okay? So he didn't come to condemn Israel, but he came to, what is it? Bring counsel and to bring reproof. Pursuant to Isaiah the 11th chapter, as we just read. Let's read this.
Isaiah 11 verse 4. But with righteousness he shall judge the poor.
Right, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor. So let's go back and read John 3 and 17 again. real
John
quick.
3:17. For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world,
Yep.
but that the world through him might be saved.
Yep.
And he that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
Right, but he that believeth not is condemned already. So again, Yahawashi came to raise us back to the Most High, to have us be reconciled with him. That was his role to play. He wasn't there to condemn nobody. All right. According to the prophecy. So this is why the men of the Lord during the time of Yahawashi and during the time of the Apostle Paul, was actually obviously the same time, 2,000 years ago. They knew about the Old Testament. That's all they had. So if they only had the Old Testament, they very well knew that a man was going to come such as Yahawashi, and he was going to play his part according to the book, the Old Testament. Let's get Matthew 5, brother. What would you got? Get Matthew 5 and verse 14. I think it's 14 or 16. Because he said, think not that I come to destroy the prophets.
Came not to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right, but to fulfill. Not one jot or one tittle shall pass from the Lord till all be fulfilled. So let's get this.
This is Matthew 5 and 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
But to fulfill. So that's what he came to do. So now I'm on this website, right? Because people get it misconstrued and saying that, oh, because it says the world, it must have went all over the world and got all of the nations around the world. But this is where he was teaching at. He was teaching in just Israel. He went to Samaria. He went to Galilee. He went to, the Decapolis. All of these areas within the region of Israel. Judea.
Yeah, I've also got the map as well. In Palestine in time of Yahawashi, Jerusalem in the New Testament times.
Yeah. So there you have it.
It's a bit roughed up.
So there you have it. So Yahawashi didn't come to die for the world. He didn't come to teach the world. He came to teach the world of Israel in the understanding of the word. Like I said, the Greek there is cosmos. Now, if you look up the word cosmos, there's a biblical usage which states, the scattered Jews. I'm roughly paraphrasing what the biblical usage is. As contrast, as contrast to the scattered Jews pursuant to Romans 11 and 12. So even the scholars know this. The scholars know that the Lord only was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And even Yahawashi told his disciples and telling them, look, go not into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And why did he tell them not to go into the cities of the Samaritans? Because during that time, all you had were Cushites that were dwelling in that part of the land. And when you go back to the story, to the history of
2 Kings 2 and
please
7.
give me that, brother. Please. Because what happened was during the time of the Assyrian Empire, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was the Assyrian.
Yeah, the Assyrian Empire. What happened was the northern kingdom tribes, they went into captivity under the Assyrians. But that was just the way of the Most High, taking the northern tribes away from northern Israel, which was the prophecy and saying that he was going to take the northern kingdom from away from his face. So what happened was you had Hamites that went in there, and they were the Cushites, the so-called Ethiopian people today, and that's why among them you have them calling themselves Falasha Jews, and the word Falasha means false Jew. Go on, brother.
This is 2 Kings 17 and 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them.
Yeah, and Jeroboam they were responsible for dividing the tribes of Israel, which was the curse of Solomon, because Solomon wanted worshiping the gods of the nations that he was marrying. All right, so not marrying, but he had sex slaves with him. And that kind of sort of thing. So that was the curse that happened. Is the splitting up of the tribes. And Jeroboam did exactly what he was going to do with the nation. Split the tribes up. Go on, brother.
Until the Lord Yahawashi removed Israel out of his sight.
Yeah, meaning he moved them out of the land of Israel. And then brought all of these heathenistic nations into the land. Go on, brother.
As he had said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
Yeah.
And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, from Kuta, from Ava.
So these were all Cushites. They all came from where they came from, and they entered into the land, and they were situated there. So when we go back, when we fast forward in time, when actually, what you can, brother, I tell you, what you got? Get Matthews 10. Get Matthews 10, and I believe it's Matthews 10. And,
there's another one in John where that Samaritan woman says, our fathers worshipped him.
Yes, yeah, you can get that too. That's a good, you know what? Get to the point and get that. Come on.
John 4, and 4:20.
So when you read the story of Kings, as you was just going into, right, you'll find out that not only have we didn't read all the way down, but when you go into it, basically they wind up keeping the customs of the Jews, because they begin to believe that they actually were the Jews.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
They believed that they were the Israelites, so they kept the customs from that time and onwards until the Messiah came. Go on, brother.
Give me just a minute.
You talking about the one in John 4, right?
Yes, I got it.
Come on.
It's low to me. I'll just get straight to the point. This is John 4. And let's start at 15. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not,
Come on.
neither come hither to draw. Yahawashi saith unto her, Go call thy husband, and come hither.
Yeah, because Yahawashi knew she was a hoe, man. She had multiple different men and stuff like that. But the reason why the Lord didn't really respect her like that, because Yahawashi knew that she wasn't of the race of the covenant. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. She was a totally different race, a Hamite. Go on, brother.
Yahawashi saith unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. And the woman answered and said, I have no husband.
Right.
Yahawashi said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands.
Right.
And he whom thou hast now, he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that thou saidest thou truly.
Right.
And the woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain.
Right. Our fathers worship in this mountain. Go on.
And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship.
Right. Again, because they thought that they were the Israelites, going back to the time of 2 Kings. So let's go back to get 2 Kings. We're going to finish the whole thing off because we just kind of skipped it. We didn't go through it. So yeah, this is the thing. See, when you get into this Bible, when you start teaching, you got to know the scriptures, man. You have to know the history side of things. And you also got to know how to break it down. You got to learn these interpretations. Because if you're going out there and you're teaching people, you're going to make yourself look crazy. And you're going to embarrass the people that you've learned from. Or that you subdued. Like Barak. Barak totally went off. I didn't watch the video, but the apostle watched the video. And he totally mangled Revelation, the 12th chapter. When he really could have just sought counsel and came under the apostles. Call it a day. Because, like I said earlier before, the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with the apostles, man. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a fact. There's different levels to this truth.
Because
Go on, brother.
to your point, right? Barnabas went to Yahawashi. You don't have to be. You mentioned about pride, right? You got to have some kind of pride. You can do it with pride because you can do it. Barnabas went behind the scenes. He took the right actions, you know, and kept his self-respect. You know, just sit down as man to man, man.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
because then you walk away and then the Most High exalt you in due time, and you feel what's the word, man? You feel. Because when you don't and got that humility and you don't resolve something, I know that I don't feel good about myself. You know, you understand?
Yeah.
So it's good to resolve things, and then you grow. You feel like you're growing as a spiritual man. Forget the carnal man. The carnal man's he's gonna die anyway.
Exactly.
So forget that. You're thinking about the spiritual man. So we're back to with him now. If he takes the right actions, go behind the scene, talk to them. They'll be willing to converse with him.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing with Apostle Paul and them, man, they know Barak. They know they're from the old One West school. So like you said, all he had to do was just go to them brothers between himself and alone, and he could bring Banyam with him, and they all discuss it.
Because it's like if your dad, right, because they are spiritual parents, really, potentially. If your dad and your uncle fell out, you'd want them. You'd say, Dad, what are you doing, man? Uncle used to always be all right. It was all right, man. When you was getting on, it was good when you was getting on. You know what I mean? And then you say, all right. And sometimes the parents, you know, they might listen to their children, but you want your parents to get on with your relationships.
Yeah.
But it'd be good if he was to humble himself and just go behind the scene and then Barak, wise man, you respect you look up to people like that. He humbled himself and he went and he found the right precaution. Now he's going to be exalted.
That's it.
Fuck, you know, I respect people like that, man.
But that's just the thing about pride, though. That's what pride do. Pride will mislead you into thinking that, if I do this in A, B, and C, then I'm showing that I've lost. Yeah, you may have lost, but guess what?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to win again.
The carnal man loses, and the carnal man going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
Well, as the scripture says in Galatians, since you said that, if you can, brother, hold what you got. Get Galatians 6 and 7. Because the scripture says, whatever man sow, that shall he also reap. Whether to the flesh or the spirit.
We had to do that actually when we come into GMS. We had to do it.
No, get the scripture
We,
that
we, we,
says,
you know,
no.
we had to do that, innit? Even Ahab, we had to take some knocks and bruises to humble ourselves because we was. The time I woke up to the truth, even though I was awoke before I came into GMS, I don't class that. Can't take that into consideration. I put the date on when I woke up to GMS. You understand? That's when I woke up to the truth because I was learning pure bad habits in that camp, which I ain't got nothing good to say about it, apart from I learned bad habits, you know. But you feel good that you humbled yourself, man, and the Most High blesses you for that too.
Because it's all about correction. It's all about redoing that which is what you did wrong, so that you can move more efficient. You want to be more efficient.
And brothers, brothers respect you. They do respect you. Forget the carnal. You know, the brothers, the spiritual men, the spiritual side of each of us respect that move when you make that move.
I'll just say something. It's interesting what you're saying because it comes down to self-respect.
Yes.
People who don't have self-respect often hide behind pride. So therefore, they see when they lose their pride, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be finished.
Yeah,
they don't understand that there's life beyond death, beyond your pride. If you was able to just let it go, then you'd be able to look at yourself in the mirror and think, hey, you know what? I respect myself. People who don't respect themselves, those are the ones who are the most
sold out.
Yeah, willing to lie and to cheat and to deceive. And the more they deceive, the more they keep. It's like they've got pockets of their soul or something that they have to keep hidden. So it's like they keep it's like, you know, sweep it under the rug or throw dirt on it, but the amount of things they're hiding just grows more and more. That's why those people, the scripture says, they won't come to the light lest they do deeds be reproved. That's how they become that way.
Because when Dawada made that statement, right, and whether he did it, it was a spirit, and he said, it's not about how many blows you give, it's how many blows you take. I said to myself, I've got to remember that shit. That's some serious shit. Because one time I was queuing up in one of these herbal shops, a long queue, and it came back to me. And I said, fuck, you know, I could wait in this queue, or I could just go somewhere else and don't get what I want. But when I thought to myself, probably 20 minutes I'll be in the queue, 10 minutes, I'll get what I want. But if I'm going to go somewhere else and go and stand up at a bus stop, I'm not going to get what I'm going to have to wait anyway. Whatever I do, I'm not going to get what. So I stood there, but tears came to my eyes because I thought to myself, that was fucking head deep what he said. And I had to phone him up and say, look, bruv, what you said, I started crying. I was in the queue and I started crying. Because that's some deep shit. It's not about how many punches you can throw, it's how many you can take. This is what this truth...
That's what strengthens you. It's chastisement. That's
what this truth is all about.
Yeah.
And he said that before, but he said it again, but in another kind of... He put it in another way. But, because when we got cancelled, when we first came, I was lucky, talking a bit, but through the spirit, right? Another person, he got chastised, right? The one who was a good speaker, you know the guy, I don't want to mention his name. And we all got chastised. He disappeared out of it. He just totally disappeared. And the one he doesn't know that I was observing things. He doesn't know, but he said to me, you see, that big guy couldn't even take the punch. Do you see the little guy? He's really talking about me. That little guy, he took the punch. The big guy, he couldn't take it. It's not about the size. And all that I was observing all that in. He said, and because he was really rooting for that speaker. He really wanted him
because he wanted what he really wanted. He wanted to be the main guy. That's really what he wanted. But he didn't get it. He didn't get to have that. But I'm gonna put it to you this way, right? He always said he wanted his own cap, and he had his own cap, but the man was still miserable as sin.
And Dawada said, when Dawada said he couldn't take the punch, Dawada went and walked away. He was sad. Dawada, I was watching, I was observing. Dawada said, "Oh fucking hell," because Dawada wanted him in the camp. Dawada wanted it. He wasn't really focused on me. I know, I'm not stupid. He wasn't focusing on me as anything. He thought, oh, he's going to be a nigga. He's gone. He's going to be gone. But the big fucking guy couldn't take it. Right. And he went and Dawada went. He had to go and sit down. And he came back and he went away again. He was not happy, man. He was not happy. So that told me something.
So like what you said, the big guy couldn't take the punch. Well, look at King Saul and King David. King Saul was the big man. King David was the little stripling. King Saul couldn't take the rebuke.
And that's happened to me a lot. Talking about taking punches. When I went to the gym when I was younger, we're going to get back onto what you're saying. But there's a point in what I'm saying. The guy was always throwing the medicine ball at me, right? And he was throwing the medicine ball, going around, and it's random. Sometimes you throw the medicine ball and then bam, back to me again. Bam, 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 bam.
You said he threw it harder.
He was always throwing it harder than me.
Right.
And I'm supposed to be the small guy.
Right.
So the point is, when he thought we might have been being wicked, he was toughening me up for the fucking...
That's what he was doing, yeah.
Well, he was toughening me up for the truth.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing. A lot of people don't see it like that. A lot of people take it as if, oh man, I can't do that because if that ain't right to me. Like, it don't feel right. Like, sometimes things that don't feel right is actually good for you, man. Not sometimes, but all the time. Like, when you get into the herbs, some of it, man, it don't taste good. But the benefits are tremendous. Like, for example, the gotu kola. They're very powerful, man. I mean, it's not that good tasting herb.
Yeah.
But it does wonders to the brain, body, and soul. So, I mean, that's what you want to get into. You don't want to be concerned about what tastes good, because what tastes good can be very damaging, like sweets and all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Which that happens, you know, you dabble in that bullshit, but, you know.
So back to the point, Salakia, Barak, I would respect him as a bigger man if he came under Tahar. Not because Tahar's sold this and that and GMS, but because I respect that kind of spirit in a man.
Right. But you know, Barak, he ain't gonna do that, brother. He ain't gonna do it because he got too much.
And that's all about that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so we're gonna get back to. I mean, he could do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. He can do it, but it just remains to be seen. You know, let's get this.
What did you want?
Romans 8.
Romans 8. This is Romans. It's Romans. Yeah, Romans 8. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach, Yahawashi, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
Yeah, so there's no condemnation to those that walk in the Spirit. If you're walking in the Spirit, then there's always you're going to be mindful of how to conduct yourself, and you're going to see the bigger picture because you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective. You're not looking at it from a carnal perspective. Oh, this guy got on me, or this guy did this to me. Oh, he did A, B, and C to me, so I ain't gonna deal with him anymore. Whatever the situation is. You know what I'm saying? So it's about looking at everything from a bigger mass perspective. Looking at the bigger picture, so to speak. But the way that you do that more effectively is by walking in the Spirit. So let's read that one more time.
That's heavy.
Romans 8. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach, Yahawashi.
Exactly.
Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
But after the Spirit. Go on.
For the law of the Spirit of life is in Mashiach, Yahawashi Mashiach.
Read that again one more time.
For the law of the Spirit of life is in Mashiach.
Right, but the law of the Spirit of life is in the Messiah, Yahawashi. So again, if you walk in the Spirit, you're going to follow wherever the Spirit wants you to go, but it's not going to be leading you towards disharmony. It's going to lead you to life eventually. That's really the thing. So if you're the kind of individual where you don't want to take correction or take counsel from somebody that you know has got to correct and you know you ain't really got to correct, then basically you're walking after the flesh, therefore leading you to what? Condemnation. And that's what this world does. This world will have you believe that you just do what you want to do. Like the Nike logo says, do as thou wilt.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. That's that Aleister Crowley
satanic spirit.
Yeah, that too, but doctrine. Do as thou wilt. Just be a beast, be an animal. The Bible tells you to be disciplined. Okay? Go on, brother.
This is Proverbs 19 and 18. Chasten thy son while there is hope.
And that's what the Lord is doing unto us. We're all his sons. It says despise of the chastening of the Lord. Okay? And it also says, and I think it's in Peter's, man. It says it in Peter's. If you be not chastened, then basically in a roundabout way you're a bastard, man. Yes. So that means you got somebody. That means you got a father. You have a guardian, which is what the parents mean. The word parent means guardian. So your guardians are supposed to correct you when they need to correct you. So, but if no one's correcting you, then basically the Lord. That means that the Lord ain't dealing with you. You see? Go on, brother.
Yeah. Trust in thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his strength.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, if you got children, you're supposed to show them the way. You're supposed to discipline them. And really, when you got young kids, from when they're probably like 6, 7, 8, around that age, you're really supposed to have them do a lot of work if they can do the work.
Yeah.
And be hard on them, because
Yeah.
what you want to do is you want to prepare them for the hard world to come.
Yeah.
That's really what you want to do. You don't want to be babying them and mollycoddling. Now, I mean, you get that, but your mother gives that to you. That's the balance, because you have to balance things out. You have that, have your son experience love so he can show love to his children.
Yeah.
Or show love to his, whoever he gets in contact with.
Yeah.
So he's balanced. But what you want, especially if you have a man-child, you want to put him under severe discipline so he can be prepared and ready to deal with the work.
Yep.
So that he don't be a pansy.
Yep.
Go on, bro.
This
right,
is
bro.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
And that's like all of us. That's why most of us, as I believe to be, most of us in Great Millstone are not really all the way well. Some of us, most of us are sick. But that's the Lord chastening us. As what happened to the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul, he got too ahead of himself, and the Lord had to cast him down a little bit. All right? So whatever your personal travail is, that's for the Lord. That's for the Lord to discipline you, to keep you in order. Because we can get too high-headed in cases. That can happen. Go on, brother. Like, look at Barak. The reason why Barak didn't want to take discipline because he got too high-headed, man. The Lord ain't dealing with him. The Lord didn't put him through the chastisement. Go on, bro.
Proverbs 22 and 6 says, train up a child in the way.
You just read that, but didn't you?
No, I didn't read it.
Go on.
I can't. In the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Another one.
From when he is old, he will not depart from it. Meaning the discipline that he got from his parents. Go on, brother.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Exactly. So that's that discipline.
Discipline.
And you know what too? It's funny because you got to think to yourselves, brothers, that we're disciples. As well as you had disciples back then, we're also disciples now. And you know what the word disciple means? It means discipline. Go on, brother. Let's read this.
Back in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. Sorry, Hebrews 12:7, yeah. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons.
Right.
For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof ye are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons.
Right, then you are bastards and not sons. So you always want to make sure that you're in the correct kind of spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you in the correct kind of spirit, which is the Holy Spirit, then in most cases you're gonna go through adversity.
Yeah.
Every day is gonna feel like a fight. You're fighting every day. You're fighting to get up. You're fighting to just deal with life.
Yeah.
You know, shit always goes wrong somehow, some way. Like you may have a few good days and you feeling good about yourself, but then the next minute, the next following days, it's like, oh shit. You know, and then you have those thoughts that come in your mind and demons fucking with you. You know, or you're getting so-called sleep paralysis. Demons messing with you, holding you down. You know what I mean? That's what Esau calls it, but it's really demons fucking with you, basically. And if you don't like the fact that I said F, then don't watch the video. Go on, brother. As they have on YouTube, there's a new thing on YouTube now where the person that's uploading the video, he either has to click yes or no if it's for kids.
Oh yeah.
So if you're a childlike individual and you don't want to hear us deal with reality and talk the reality talk, then just don't watch us, man. Watch cartoon or something like that. Watch a cartoon that your favorite. Watch your best favorite cartoon that you grew up watching and listening to as a child.
Go watch Sesame Street.
Or better yet, watch Sesame Street. Go on, brother.
It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Right, exactly. But be ye subject under the Father of spirits and live. So that's what it's all about. We have to be under this particular power by subscribing to the men who he set before. Okay, go on.
Got another precept. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. He that loveth his son